Alright, what's up guys? We are here with episode 2 of Table Talk with Young Bucks Outdoors. We got David here and Tyler. So today we're going to talk about shed hunting.
Yeah.
So what are some of the ways you can go about finding sheds?
Shed hunting. To me, shed hunting is, pure fun. A lot of cardio. But when it comes to finding sheds, essentially you need to simplify what you're understanding, and that is during the late season months and post season after the season's gone out.
Yeah.
Deer really care about safety, food, and bedding. That's all they care about.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be safe, of course, and they want to be fat and happy, and that just comes down to food. So that's really all the deer care about. And so really when it comes to shed hunting, I key in on ag fields or primary food sources such as cut bean field, cut corn field, a food plot, and then obviously bedding areas.
During the times you can shed hunt, I think those are the places you should key in on, just because of they're hungry, and during the winter months there's not a whole lot of food.
Yeah.
So they're gonna bed somewhere close to the food, but also somewhere where they're gonna feel safe and be happy. And I think if you can key in on them too, I think you can really up your numbers in sheds, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing you really got to watch is like this time of year, especially for this year for some reason, like here in Ohio, we've still got a lot of deer that have only maybe shed one side, or I've actually got a 3-year-old that is a gorgeous 3-year-old, but he's still holding both sides as of, I believe it was the 8th. So, you got to watch stepping in too soon, because you might bump that deer out and he might reside somewhere else for next deer season, so you might just screw yourself. So you really got to watch that. So like us, for example, we went to public land over the weekend. We were staying out of our honey holes. We're kind of waiting until the time gets right, see what the trail cameras tell us. But yeah, essentially like you said, they care about safety and they're hungry. Even for late season hunting, a big term that I go off of is hunt the gut.
Yeah.
Because again, all they care about is food. So that's kind of how I go about it.
I think that if you are shed hunting your property already, it's not a bad thing. But I think it could be a little bit too early, just like he said, that his bucks he's got on camera are still holding their horns. That's part of the reason why we got to the public land, just because, that's fair game to anybody. Yeah, it's a little bit early, so you find something, you got white gold. If you don't, just the way of the road, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I know for a fact I'm not going to touch any of my properties until the end of this month. Early March is when we're going to start shed hunting my private land, honestly, just because it's private and we can hold off and nobody else is there. I think that's the right call. Just it'll give them that extra time to maybe drop their horns so you can find them.
Yeah, let them be fat and happy this time of year. I've heard of some stories from bow hunters, even kind of locally for us here, that shed hunters, they just care about the horns, so they don't care about property lines. So you might have to watch that, but really I've never personally noticed where someone is shed hunting on my properties or anything like that, but it could happen. It could happen at any time to anyone, so be aware of that.
Yeah.
That just goes the same along with trespassing through the firearm seasons or whatever it may be. Some people just don't care, and that's the fact of the matter. But yeah, definitely. For us in this part of the country, we're still holding off on our honey holes, our private land, everything like that now.
I'm just gonna touch back on a little bit while you're talking there. You talked about your cameras. You talked about, you said you had about a 3-year-old deer there holding onto his horns.
Yeah.
And that's one way you can tell if these deer are still in your area holding onto their horns. So I think that's one of the good ways, especially if you're feeding there, you can definitely tell. And heck, you even had one already this year drop one right there in front of your camera. And that was pretty neat. But the only other way I know of is boots to the ground. Like you also said it, just because you don't want to be walking all these crazy areas. You're going to walk the ridges, the valleys, fence crossings, creek crossings, anywhere they're going to have a jumping, jerking motion where you could possibly knock that horn loose. That would give you that chance or opportunity to maybe find one in that area. I think those are some good spots people should key in on. But just look at a map. We use HuntStand. We'll get on there and we'll put on the train feature, and we'll kind of see, okay, maybe we should map this out and walk this area, scout that area a little bit. And that's probably pretty good, scouting that area. And
Yep.
I mean, I think that's how we do find some of our sheds, because it's not, yes, it's all about luck during shed hunting.
Yeah.
You never, but it's also about how much time and effort and thought you put into where you're going to go and how you're going to go about it. And I think that's also a big key is, so I mean, using cameras, but also you still have to get out there and do the work. I mean, they're not just going to fall in your front yard. You have to go out and find them.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of like what you said there. Trail cameras, this time of year, whether you just have them out, just seeing what kind of deer or whatever is left over per se, or, like me, I had some big time corn left over, so I hit my properties with that, because obviously I want the deer to come there, drop their horns.
Yeah.
Touching back on that horn I did find earlier, it was from a good 2.5-year-old of mine. That's the first one I've ever had fall in front of a trail camera, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, right now use trail cameras to your advantage. Obviously, even during deer season they do the scouting for you, so use those if you're looking for sheds or just monitoring your deer herd after season. And then, like you said, boots to the ground. And then another thing I would like to touch on real quick is south-facing slopes. So south-facing slopes get the most sunlight in a day. So deer tend to like them, especially in the winter months when it's pretty cool. That way they get the most sunlight and the most heat.
Yeah.
So south-facing slopes can be really key for finding sheds and new bedding areas that mature bucks, does, whatever may be, use during the winter months.
Yeah. Now, when you do find a shed, I would say, I mean, it's not guaranteed, but usually that tells you and gives you inventory that that deer is local in that area. Because, I mean, it's not the rut no more. You're not going to have all these cruisers coming through. You're going to have some more local home bodies, camping out. And so I'd say when you do find a shed that you could, I mean, not guaranteed, but you could kind of think of, that buck's nearby, I have a shot. And I mean, heck, if it's a nice one, then that's something you might want to key in on and try to figure out what's going on, where he could be staying at. Because, I mean, if I find a shed, I mean, I'm going after him. To be honest with you, especially if it's a good size.
Yeah, I agree. And if he's shedding on your property or wherever you're hunting, public land, whatever it may be, that deer's there for a reason. He knows that's like a food source or a bedding area that he tends to like. So even if you didn't see him during season on camera or on the hoof, that's, like you said, that's a good learning point when it comes to scouting and learning deer. So if he feels comfy and safe to come there during the winter months after all the pressure and everything, that's a deer you can potentially harvest and hunt.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that statement. It's not, it's not unusual for that to happen. So
yeah, like that 3-year-old that's still holding both sides. That deer disappeared on me a week before season, and he ended up coming back 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
So I mean, deer are crazy.
A hunt stand. I mean, I use that. You use that. I mean, I mark that for sure. I kind of think of, all right, if I found this shed here, where's the food at? Where's the bed at? He's got to be somewhere safe. And he's hungry. I mean, everybody's got to eat. Everybody's got to sleep. So.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I do the same thing. Mark that if you want on a hunting app if you use them. If you find a shed, a rub, a bed, whatever it may be. But that's what you do. That's what I do. Especially because it's this time of year. It's what you got to do. You're trying to learn the deer, see what they do after season or towards the end of season. That way, in my opinion, late season, hunt the gut.
Mm-hmm.
And that's essentially what we're doing right now. We're just looking for their antlers.
Yeah.
So that's the way to go about it. And I mean, even shed hunting in general, like areas to look, how we said, bed to food. A lot of my sheds that I found over the years is right on field edges, right inside the woods a lot, or right, within 15 yards of the field where they're like just coming out and it knocked loose like a tooth or something, or going back in. I find a lot right there for some reason.
So here's some tips we have for you for shed hunting. I honestly, if it's in a field, crop, or kill plot, or depending on how big the area is, I guess, but you're gonna want to have a pair of binoculars with you, and that proved us right over the weekend. We walked out there and about 80 yards away, just glassing over the field. There one lies. But I couldn't believe it. I don't think you believe me either. I was like, David, take a look at this.
That was a good one.
I think that'll help you, and that'll save you some time for sure, because I took a double take at it with the binoculars and without them.
Just to be sure.
And I mean, that far away, the odds of you seeing that with just a bare eye is slim to none. I mean, good
Yeah.
chance, but
Still, it's hard.
yeah. And then I mean,
especially if it's a smaller shit.
oh yeah, for sure. And then I mean, if you're in the woods, and it's not gonna do you as much good unless you got some. I mean, I guess some longer distances you can kind of see,
Yeah.
50, 60 yards, even if that. You know, the brush, it's not gonna help you too much. Everything's so close. I mean, it's kind of typical, and you probably kind of figured that out.
Yeah.
So it'll just save you some time and help you out.
So binoculars, my tip is overcast days. Personally, I love them. If you got rain coming, or like I said, overcast in general, especially if there's no snow on the ground, you know, you've got just brown leaves on the ground, it really makes those white horns pop. I love shed hunting. Like, we've got rain coming this weekend, so I'm freaking excited.
Yeah.
So essentially, overcast days I think are great. A lot of people that I know that are very big into shed hunting look for overcast days to go out, because it's kind of hard to see, you know, far or whatever with sunlight and everything like that. So overcast days.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of all I had. So.
Yeah, binoculars, overcast days. Use trail cameras to your advantage.
Yeah.
Boots on the ground.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's definitely a big one.
Yeah.
And then essentially, you know, like for our hunting holes, I won't lie, I might go twice. You know, it never hurts to go back again.
Yeah.
You know, even just whether it's a different area or the same area and you're walking it differently.
They don't all fall at once.
Yeah, that's for sure. Every deer is different. You know, every circumstance is different. Freaking squirrels get after them. You know, I'm sure if you know social media, you've seen the yotes pick them up. Cows will freaking chew on them. So anything can happen. So it never hurts. So definitely just don't be afraid to go back. Don't hesitate. You know, plus then again, you're still just scouting. You know, learning your land and everything like that. So yeah, just you gotta be out there to find them.
Yeah, for sure.
That wraps it up for episode 2 of our sub-series Table Talk. From myself and Tyler, we're out of here.